Hi little wildcats. Since we're studying the oceans this week, I thought I would show you something that lives in the ocean and talk about it a little bit. This is a great white shark. Isn't he pretty? He's very big and he's very heavy. Sharks like this can weigh between 1 or 2 cars worth. I mean, as much as 1 or 2 cars. So pretty heavy. And yet, despite being so heavy, they don't sink in the water. How come? Let's find out. Let's do a little experiment to show. Most fish have something called a swim bladder in their bodies. A swim bladder is something that's filled with gas, like air is. So to show that, I have this little science experiment. Okay, I took a toilet paper roll and I attached 3 pennies to the bottom of it to provide the fish with like a little bit of weight. And to stand for its swim bladder, I took a Ziploc bag and I just blew it up with like a little bit of air. So it's got some air in it, and I'll show you. Just like this. It's like a little balloon. And I'm gonna put it inside our little fishy. So like I said, most fish, this isn't a shark, this is like a regular fish. That's not a shark. Has a swim bladder. And this swim bladder should help keep the fish from sinking. Let's see if it works. I have a bucket full of water, and I'm going to put our fish right on top. Oh, look at him. He's swimming along just on top of the water, which isn't where he should be. He should be just under it. But anyway, he's not sinking, okay? Because the swim bladder keeps him afloat. But sharks don't have a swim bladder. This is the internal parts of a shark. There's no swim bladder in there. But they do have something called a liver. You and I have livers also, and they help with our digestion. In a shark, the liver provides it with a little bit of buoyancy, which is what it means when you can float a little bit in the water. And the shark's liver is filled with an oil. So to illustrate that, I've taken some regular oil from our kitchen and just a 1/4 cup. And I've put that in another Ziploc bag. And I'm sealing it, okay? And I'm gonna put that inside our shark. But first I want to show you what would happen if the shark didn't have either a swim bladder, like the fish, or this oil-filled liver. What if he had nothing inside like that? He's got the same 3 pennies on the bottom that the other fish had. Let's see if he sinks. Let's see if he sinks or he floats, okay? I'll stick him in the water. He looks a little sad, so can you guess what's going to happen to him? Let's see. Oh no! He sinks right to the bottom. So anyway, he didn't have what he needed to stay afloat. I'll show you this guy. This guy has the same 3 pennies to give him a little bit of weight, and he's got the oil-filled liver, a little bag that's standing for that. Let's see if he can sink or float in the water. Yay, he floats too. Now there's one thing I want to show you. Actually, he's starting to go down just a little bit. And that actually is good. He's still staying afloat. He's not as badly off as the other shark with nothing inside him. But in the real shark world, sharks need more than just that oil-filled liver to stay afloat. They need 2 more things, and I want to point them out to you. The first thing they need is their fins, especially their pectoral fins on the side here, and their caudal fins, which are their tail fins. This kind of fin helps the shark go like this in the water, straight. And this kind of fin, the pectoral fin, is kind of like the wings of a bird. It can help the shark go high in the water, rise up in the water. So both of those things also give the shark buoyancy, or like floatability, the ability to stay in the water without sinking to the bottom. And the last thing that the shark has, besides the oil-filled liver and besides the fins, the shark has something called cartilage. Cartilage is something that the shark has in its body. It doesn't have bones, which is kind of interesting. You and I have bones, and some of our bones are underneath our fingers, are part of our fingers inside, under our flesh. And elsewhere in our body too, our backs. Our backs have a big long bone, the spine down our backs. But we also have something called cartilage, and this is what the shark has. And the cartilage in our body is, for example, in our ears. If you hold onto your ear, you can pinch it. The thing that gives the ear its shape is called cartilage. Same with your nose. Cartilage is underneath. There's a bone there too, but there's cartilage on your nose that helps give it its shape. And so in the fish has this cartilage all down its back instead of a backbone, instead of bone. The reason why this is important is because in this shark is because it helps keep the shark buoyant. So it's lighter than bone. So even though a shark itself can weigh as much as 2 cars, the cartilage is a little lighter than bones would be. So those 3 things help keep the shark buoyant, and he's still floating with his oily liver. And that's the end of our experiment. I'll give the instructions in case you guys want to try to do this at home. I'll write them out separately. I hope you liked it. Bye, little Wildcats.